Assalamualaikum. My name is Putri Sabrina Michelle Amir-Shukri from Section 4.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Yuni Zatibatisa. I'm from Section 4. So, I am the second presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Iza binti Muhammad from Section 4. I'm going to present about methods and findings in this topic of politeness speech.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Chena Shamsna binti Hassan and my ID is AM190505421. Okay, so today me and my group are going to present about a study on how semester 3 Tesl students use politeness speech. So I am going to be the fourth presenter, which is I am going to present about discussion and also conclusion.
Introduction. Did we ever realize that we speak differently to each person? People tend to speak differently because of one factor, which is politeness. Politeness in speech influences every people to choose the different of address from when they are talking to someone. It is also shows that the social dimensions exist because of the politeness that people should consider in different situations and communities. Linguistically polite about selection of linguistic form to express a proper degree of social distance, or in the other words, acknowledging the relevant status or power differences. Linguistically, politeness differences were based on culture. Different speech in communities have its own different in functions. Do you know what does politeness means? Politeness can be defined as showing a good manners or habits toward other people. Whenever we talk or do something, everyone should be polite instead of being rude, because being polite is unnecessary. This is because being polite will reflect ourselves and it will show our true colors. If someone being rude, people will be lost respect toward them. Being polite will make us respect the feelings of other people. Plus, being polite will improve our relationship with someone, help to construct respect, support our confidence and certainty, and improve our communication abilities. Other than that, being polite is a complicated business in any language. It is difficult to learn because it requires learning of the community's social and cultural values, not just the language. Speaking politeness includes considering of the feeling of others. We also need to understand the social values of society in order to speak politely. Politeness is considered to be one of a decent person's most significant qualities. This must be implemented in all walks of life. We are respectful because it is expected when communicating with people of higher status.
Next, based on my observation, there are two types of politeness. The first one is positive politeness, the second one is negative politeness. So, a speaker might use either the positive politeness or negative politeness. This is based on their way to treat someone. In this case, positive politeness techniques are socially approved methods of connecting with others that include doing good things for them. They focus on dispensing with separation between individuals. Positive politeness strategies highlight friendliness between the speaker and listener. In addition, it happens when the speaker's want or in some way similar to the listener. For example, I am sorry to bother you, but will you lend me your pen? Or, I think you have a lot of very nice clothes in your closet, especially pants. Or, do you think we should go to the library together? So, all these examples shows that the speaker respects a person's need to be liked and understood and greet the listener. with a positive talk so the listener may be comfortable, and it is hard for the listener to refuse the speaker's request. On the other hand, the negative politeness is opposite with the positive politeness. With positive politeness situated towards the listener's positive face, negative politeness would make the listener change his reaction to negative face when the speaker addresses him. The listener sometimes will avoid and neglect the speaker because of the speaker's behavior. For instance, I just want to ask you if I could use your handbag, or I forgot to tell you that you need to buy the ticket by yesterday. So, based on these two sentences, the speaker did not address the listener with a positive face, but he used a negative sentence when he talked to the listener. It is obviously shows that the speaker respects a person's right to act freely. In conclusion, both the negative politeness and positive politeness can be used by everyone because it does not matter. It is not even wrong if someone uses negative politeness because it did not give any harm to the listener.
Purpose. The purpose of the study is to first, investigate why students in Semester 3 Tesl students use politeness speech, and 2. Investigate how they will use politeness speech in their life. This study aims to see and explore on how the Semester 3 Tesl students use politeness speech in their daily life. One of the purposes of this study is to investigate the reasons why students in Semester 3 Tesl students use politeness speech. Being polite and having good manners are essential on a daily basis, especially as a student. Therefore, politeness speech is always used in a classroom in order to build a good relationship between the teacher and the students. Besides, people tend to be more polite to their superiors, just like how students be more polite towards their teachers. The second purpose of this study is to investigate how the students will use politeness speech in their life. English is a language that full with formalities and niceties. A true English speaker can easily notice when someone is not using the right customs of the said language. The way how students use politeness speech will also be observed if they use it in the wrong way.
So the first method that we use in this research is quantitative. This research of politeness speech among the Kuptm students uses a quantitative method. So we use questionnaire survey will be conducted to collect the information on politeness speech among the students. So in the survey, multiple questions will be asked, then the result from the survey will be analyzed and gathered before further analysis. So the second method is data analysis. So once the data is collected, we will do the data analysis to strengthen and support the research evidence for the meaningful insights. Here, we can revisit the research objective and identify the connection and patterns from the collected data. And the last method that we use in this research is online research. So for the online research method, we collect the additional data from the internet, and the additional data will help us to state the information in more details. The next one is findings. So in this mini research that we have investigated, which the reason why the students in Sem 3 Tesl students use politeness speech in their daily life, and investigate how they will use politeness speech in their life. First, we made a form based on the topic of speech function, politeness and cross-cultural communication in chapter 11 from the Introduction of Sociolinguistic textbook written by Janet Holmes and Nick Wilson. So the first question that we asked the student was why did they use politeness speech with different person? Or in the other words, why did they talk in different way with different person using the different politeness in their speech? So they were given 3 different answers to choose. First was status, and second was culture and social distance. So politeness speech usually change because of status. People tend to increase the politeness in their speech when they meet the people with high status. So half of the respondents agreed with this statement. However, there are also some of them who think that social distance and culture based on the reason of they keep changing politeness in speech. So social distance is also one of the factor people change the politeness form in their daily conversation, but not in certain country. As an example, in Western country, they do not take social distance as the reason they are being polite in their speech. As an example, like in America, they just call the people like sis, dude, and bro without considering the social distance between them. Next, question number 2, we asked the students if they have ever used the politeness speech with their close friend. So usually, the social distance between the students and their close friend must be very close and considered intimate. And people tend to drop the politeness speech when the people they are comfortable with. So therefore, 63% from the respondents agreed that they are not using the politeness speech with their close friends because of the social distance. So the rest of the respondents did not agree because they respect each other with their relationship as friends. So the third question was about their opinion in adding the word please in their speech. So we want to know whether the word please is polite to be used in any situations. So 88% students who respond in the form agreed that the word please will be considered polite in any situation, and only 10% from them who did not agree. So basically, the word please is clearly stated as one of the politeness form. However, it is not considered as polite if someone uses it in certain situations. So as an example, when people use it as a directive utterance, such as please close the door, it is not polite because it was a command with the word please in front, which it told us to close the door, and we don't have any chance to choose whether we want to do it or not. The fourth question is to investigate whether the students use swear words in their daily conversation. So somehow, people use swear words in their speech to let out their anger. This way will be more effective to let it all out, and it was agreed by 18 over the 41 respondents among the students, while the rest of 23 students responds in the form that they should be polite in their speech and they should not use the swear words. Fifth question was to ask the students if they use the politeness forms in their daily interaction. Politeness forms such as please and thank you will always be the famous form known by all of the people all over the world. So we investigated whether these students also use the politeness form in their daily interaction. So the response given was the majority of them use the politeness form, and some of them did not use it in their daily interaction. Next, question number 6, we asked the Tesl students in SEM 3 if they think being polite could give positive effects to people around them. So 90% students agree that being polite will give positive effects in their life and to people around them. So politeness speech help people to maintain relationship in a good way and keep reminding people to respect each other. For question number 7, we need to investigate why the students use polite forms when they need to approach a teacher. So most of them agreed with the statement of the aim or the purpose of the interaction, which people will change to politeness form and speech with the suitable situation and interaction based on the social status and social distance. In question number 8, we asked the students if they agreed that the politeness speech influenced by social relationship between the two parties. And 98% students agree with this statement, as politeness speech will work if both parties work together to keep respect each other and know their limit based on their status and social distance. For question number 9, we asked the students why do they think that speak in a polite way is important. So politeness speech function is to help build respect and rapport among the society. And most of the students agree that it is important to use politeness speech in order to respect people. And 24% among the respondents responds that politeness speech is to help improve the relationship with others. Somehow, politeness speech will not make a relationship effective. Question 11. So in this question, we want to investigate when the students will use the politeness speech the most in their life. So the first answer is talking with friends. And 7% students agree that they should be polite in their speech with their friends. However, the majority response is to the statement of reporting tasks to superior, and it is true because we should be polite when we are talking with people with higher status than us. Question 12. Next, in the question 12, we asked them in the forms if politeness can stop them from having fun. And half of the respondents did not agree with the statement because using politeness speech would not prevent people to have fun in their life. Next is question 13. So in question 13, we asked them to see if they understand what the positive and negative politeness are. But the result shows that 42% students answer it as negative politeness. It was actually positive politeness because when a superior asks to call him by their first name, it is considered as positive politeness. Question 14. So in this question, we asked the student if it is appropriate for them to call their superior by the first name. So calling a superior by their first name is considered rude because the gap in status, unless the superior itself action is friendly and the superior allowed them to call by their first name. So 78% students think that they should not call their superior with their first name. In question 15, in order to investigate how they will use politeness speech in their life, we asked them in the forms what type of politeness they will use if they were a superior in their life. Whether positive, which is being friendly with their subordinate, or negative politeness, which asking the subordinate to do works in indirect speech. And question 16, we ask the student, usually in Western societies, they address a person using dude, babe, bro, sis, as I said before, of more to make it more emphasis on solidarity and less on status. So they think it is polite to use the address form in our country, Malaysia. They have to answer between yes or no. So mostly the students in Kuptm answer as yes, which is it is impolite to address people like that. Whether or not they are disrespectful depends on whether you are expected to have a formal or informal relationship with the person you are addressing. However, by using an informal term in a situation that calls for formality, I am refusing to acknowledge the authority of the other person and thus disrespecting their position. Question 18. So the question is, how did they refuse an invitation to a meal from someone that they don't like? They were given two different answers. And the first one is, sorry, I'm busy that night. And the second one is, sorry, my parents are sick, I need to take care of them. So most of the students choose the first answer, while the exact answer should be the second one, because it is sound more polite because they are stated as excuse that makes them could not attend the invitation. Basically, they can just give another reason instead of sorry my parents are sick, but it's more polite if you can give reasons and excuse instead of saying you are busy without a reason. And next is question 19. So we asked the students what did they think if they are visiting someone's house without bringing nothing, whether it is considered as rude in their country. So mostly the students' answer is no, it is not rude. However, it depends on each person whether they feel the need to bring something to someone's house while visiting because it is appropriate to do so. So somehow we have many different culture in each country. In Japan, when arriving at a Japanese home, bringing along a small gift, called omiyage in Japanese, of snacks or fruit, will be much appreciated. The last question is question 20. This question we ask the students how will they respond to how are you question. They were given two different answers, which is one of it, I'm fine, thank you, and the second one is I'm good, just got a fever but not really serious. There is no problem by answer I'm fine, thank you, because it is enough to let the person know that you are doing fine. However, half of the students agreed to respond longer to the person they talked to in order to be more polite. It is appropriate to repeat the same question to the person you are talking with because it will show the exciting of both sides to continue the conversation. That's all for me. Thank you.
Next is discussions. So for the first question in our survey, why do you use politeness speech with different person? It is evidently stated that mostly people use politeness speech based on their status. Why is most students use politeness speech based on status? So it is because they are superior. which is a higher ranking. Most of them think that they should be more polite and be more decent when they interact with them. Next, question number 2. Do you often use politeness speech with your close friends? So mostly, the students' answer is no, because they are very close. So it shows that the students mostly didn't use politeness speech when they are talking with their close friend. Why are they didn't use politeness speech with their close friend? It is because they are getting used to each other that make them think that make them talk informally. While the other students think that politeness speech is a must, maybe it is because they don't know each other very well and afraid that they might hurt their feelings. Next, question number 3. Do you think by adding the word please can increase the politeness in every situation? So, most of the students' answer is yes, because it has been proved that most of the students think if we use please can increase the politeness in every situation. Why did they think so? It is because they will sound more decent if they did like that. They have to thank people for their input or contribution by adding please when asking for something or in any situations related. If they are talking to a stranger, it will improve their relationship. So next, question number 4. Instead of using politeness speech, sometimes people use swear words in their speech. Do you often use swear words in your speech? Why? So mostly the students in KUPTM answer is no, because they have to be polite. So it has stated that most of the students didn't use swear words when they are talking. It is because when we are using swear words while talking, it will make the whole speech seems a bit harsh and very rude. It is good manners to remember where you are and think about other people's right and feeling. Everyone has the right to feel safe, and having to hear loud nasty words can make them feel unsafe. The person that you are talking to may lose interest to talk with you. Me, myself, doesn't use swear words in my speech because I'm afraid that I will upset people. Question number 5. Do you employ polite forms in your daily interaction? The most chosen answer is yes. Most of the students say we should employ polite forms in our daily interaction. Yes, it is true because by practice politeness in our speech with our daily interaction, we probably would be less quarreling and be more understanding. We should try being good to people around us even if it may not always be rewarding. People may change their attitude when they sense that somebody was good to them. Being polite to others is not just the way to show kindness, we use it as a way of not hurting other people's feelings. Next is question number 6. Do you agree that being polite will give positive effect on people around us? Based on the pie chart above, it is clearly shown that majority of the respondents agree with the statement that said by being polite will give positive effects on people around them. 40 over 41 respondents must have think that politeness is one of the important things to people, as it is obviously will result them in a positive situation rather than the negative one. Even in any type of social setting, being polite can positively influences people's feeling about each other and give good impression to people around us. This is a good positive sign to the KPTM students since the majority of the respondents have agreed with the statement. So the next question is number 7. As a student, usually when we approach a teacher, the first phrase that we always use is in a form of polite speech. What do you think the reason we subconsciously did that? 18 over 41 respondents among the third semester of Tesl students in KUPTM think that the reason their first phrase that they always uses is in a form of polite speech when approaching a teacher's in is the aim or purpose of the interaction. The aim or purpose of an interaction is important as they may be informative, especially when it involves a teacher-student's relationship. Therefore, this belief is true and completely normal among the students. However, 12 respondents agreed that the reason they use polite speech when approaching a teacher is because of the social setting, while another 11 respondents have agreed it is because of the social context. Both of it is a relevant factor. Different people have different kinds of agreement, but for this case, majority of the Tesl students agreed that they uses polite speech because of the aim or purpose of the interaction with their teachers. Next is question 8. Politeness speech is influenced by the social relationship between the two parties. Do you agree with this statement? In the pie chart above, it was shown that over 40 respondents have agreed with the statement that said the politeness speech is influenced by the social relationship between two parties. Based on a study of Brown and Levinson, the originators of politeness theory, they have stated that as the social relationship between the two parties increases, so too should the amount of politeness. In a teacher-student environment, it is considered rude to not use speech politeness among each other, especially as a student. Every time a student needs to communicate with a teacher, they will subconsciously assess the situation and try to choose the appropriate amount of politeness. Next, question 9. As a student, what do you think speech politeness is important? Based on the pie chart above, it was shown that 30 respondents think that speech politeness is important because it helps to build respect and rapport, while 10 respondents agreed that it helps to improve relationship with others. Being polite means being conscious and respecting other people's feelings. Therefore, both of the statements are true. Politeness are always expected. Expected and rudeness are socially unacceptable, especially when we are a student. From the pie chart above, another one respondent believes that speech politeness is important to show dignity and wealth. This belief is not completely false, as some people in our society might have agreed on this too. But as a student, this belief is basically irrelevant. Next, question number 10. Do you think it is hard to be polite in using your language? From the pie chart above, the majority of the respondents, which is 33 people, have agreed that they find it difficult to be polite in using their language. The possible reason for this is it will be difficult when English is not their first language. We can seem to be too direct when giving opinions or the imperative forms that we rarely use. This could be the reason why some people find it complicated to be polite in their language, or maybe because of their own behavior or egotistical. Only 8 respondents think that it is easy to be polite in using their language, which seems to be constant about.
Alright, thank you Nur Iriani Izati, my teammate, for the explanation on this question number 1 until 10. Right, so it's my turn. So we move on to the next question, which is question number 11. So the question is, when do you usually use politeness speech? Okay, so based on our research, based on this chart, it is majority of the students, which is 29 over 41 students, use politeness speech when they are reporting tasks to superior, instead of using politeness speech when they talking with friends or talking on phone with parents. Alright, do you know why? Alright, so in my opinion, this is because they have to respect the superior, as the superior has a high rank and high level, more compared to their friends and parents, such as the superior are actually bosses or manager who has a high rank. Okay, so Actually, it does not mean we do not have to respect our parents or friends, but we do have to respect them, but in another way. Okay, so based on this chart, most of the students did not use politeness speech with their friends and family or parents in using politeness speech because they were actually closed. Their relationship is more closer than their relationship with superior. So that is why they use politeness speech with superior more than their friends and family. As for example, okay, when a student is dealing with teacher or lecturer in class, obviously he or she will use politeness speech with their lecturer. Why? Because they want to respect the lecturer, they want to respect the teachers. Okay, so they do this because they don't want the teacher to assume him as a rude student or a student who didn't have good manners. All right, so that is why most of the students use politeness speech with superior more than friends and family. All right, move on to next question, which is question number 12. So the question is, can too much politeness stop people from having fun? Alright, so what do you think? Alright, so based on this chart, okay, it is found out that 21 over 41 students disagree that too much politeness can stop from having fun. This is because it might be because of most of the students use politeness speech in their daily life, okay, and they found out that they still having fun even though they use politeness speech in their conversation. So if there is anyone who think that politeness speech will stop people from having fun, then how can the students and lecturers in class laughing and talking about fun in a fun way in the class? How can they laughing together, and how can the people who always listen to talks in the television or in the studio, how can they laugh even though the person used politeness speech? Right, this is obviously shows that actually politeness speech does not stop people from having fun. So all of them, this is because all of them use politeness speech in another way, in their own way. So it is clearly shows that clearly show that too much politeness can't really stop people from having fun. Okay, so the next question is question number 13. Okay, so the question is, you are a boss in a company. You told your subordinate to call you with your first name. From the statement, what is the type of politeness? Okay, so based on this chart, okay, basically 24 students over 41 are correctly answered this question, which is it is positive politeness. Why? Because it is categorized as positive politeness because the superior is the one who asked the subordinate to call him with his first name. Okay, so it is mean that he is willingly to being called like that. Okay, so it is not negative politeness. Why? Because it doesn't seem rude. It does not seem rude at all. Okay, it is not like he being called by his first name because his subordinate did not respect him at all. It is because he asked them to do that. He asked the subordinate to call him by their first name. Alright, so based on my research, most of the superiors tend to use their first name, tend to go by their first name because they prefer to be called like that. Okay, so the other 70 students claimed as negative politeness because they might not really know the real definition of negative politeness. Maybe they think the negative politeness is a rude talk, is a rude words, okay, or anything. So, or maybe they do not know the strategy of positive politeness, or maybe they want to protect themselves from not being respected by the subordinate. That is why they prefer not to being called by their first name. So that is my research on question number 13. So move on to question number 14, which is, do you think it is appropriate for you to call your superior only with their first name? So the chart shows that 22 over 41 students disagree to call their superior by their first name, while the other 9 over 41 students agreed that it is appropriate to call our superior by their first name. This is because it depends on the people. Actually, it depends. If they want to be called by their first name, then it is okay. It does not seem rude at all. Some people might feel uncomfortable to do that because it seems rude, but some of them is just okay with that. They does not care about that. They doesn't care about that. Okay, so this is because some of the superiors might ask them might ask the subordinate to call him by the first name, and as they feel comfortable with it. And however, some of the superiors think that it is inappropriate, especially among the students. Okay, this is because students need to be learned on how to respect teachers or lecturers or the older people so that they will not become rude in future. So it is based on the person itself whether he wants to call his superior using their first name or not. Okay, so that is for question number 14. Move on to question number 15. Okay, so based on this chart, okay, the question is, if you are a superior, you prefer to use positive politeness or negative politeness? Okay, so based on our research by doing the questionnaires, overall we can say that most of the students prefer to use positive politeness instead of using the negative politeness if they were a superior. Why? Do you know what? Because they think it is inappropriate to use negative politeness with their subordinate, as it does not seem respect at their subordinate. So there are 36 over 41 students prefer to use positive politeness, and another 5 students prefer to use negative politeness. Those who are preferred to use positive politeness might want to improve their relationship with their subordinate or to show dignity and worth. Plus, using positive politeness, do you know using positive politeness actually can helps to build respect and among people, or maybe our subordinate. So at least the superior can be the role model for their subordinate, so that they know to respect each other. They know on how to respect the superior, and the superior knows on how to respect his subordinate. Alright, so Okay, meanwhile, the other five students who preferred to use negative politeness if they were a superior, they might have their own reason. For example, they might want their subordinate to not lose respect towards him or being rude toward him. So they want to use negative politeness, maybe because they want to respect, maybe because they want to protect themselves from not being respected by their subordinate. Okay, so that is for question number 50. Okay, question number 16. The question is, norms of Western address usually use dude, bro, babe, sis because of more emphasis on solidarity and less on status. Do you think it is polite to use the address form in your country? So based on our research and based on this chart, normally in Western societies use the address such as dude, babe, bro, sis, which clearly showed that they are not really care about status. While in Eastern society, often using polite address to call someone based on their status and social distance. As this research was investigated in Malaysia and among the students of semester 3 Tesl students in Kuptm, 18 over 41 students agree that using the address such as dude, babe, bro, and sis are considered impolite to use in their Eastern society. However, 23 over 41 students respondents are agree that those addresses form are polite to be used in their country. This might this might happen because of the Western influence in their daily life as they used to learn Western language. Okay, that is our research for question number 16. Okay, so next question number 17. Do you think it is appropriate to use your linguistic politeness culture in other countries that have different linguistic politeness? Okay, so the answer is yes, I should just talking the way my culture speak in linguistic politeness, and no, I should speak in their way to avoid a cross-cultural communication problem. So, based on my research, 28 over 41 respondents among the semester 3 Tesl students in Kuptm agree that it is not appropriate for them to use their linguistic politeness culture in another country. If the country has a different linguistic politeness, they agree that they have to speak the way how the society they agree they have to speak the way the society does to fit in and to avoid a cross cultural communication problem. So the another 13 students response to this question as they should just talk the way their cultures speak as usual. However, being able to fit in and avoiding the cross-cultural communication problem is better. Consideration is needed in this case to appreciate every differences in every culture, attitudes, and different societies. Okay, so move on to question number 18. Alright, so the question is, how do you refuse an invitation to a meal from someone you don't like? Okay, so we have two answers, which is sorry, I'm busy this night. I'm afraid I can't make it. And another is sorry, my parents are sick. I need to take care of them. Okay, so what do you think? Okay, so based on me and my group research, 37 over 41 respondents show that they will refuse invitation by saying they are busy, which is sorry, I'm busy that night, I'm afraid I can't make it. Okay, this reason is considered a little impolite because it seems like it seems like a rejection without a good reason. Okay, while 4/41 students will reject an invitation by saying, sorry, my parents are sick, I need to take care of them. Okay, so this right reason is considered polite because the person who invite you would not think of anything suspicious, and it is not obvious that the rejection was because you do not like them. Okay, so as for me, I think I will reject the invitation by saying that my parents are sick, because I think it is more better so that your friend will be understandable. Okay, so the second last question, which is question number 19, which is, do you think that visiting someone's house without bringing nothing is rude in your country, which is Malaysia? So it is clearly stated in the pie chart above. 26/41 students among the Tesl students in Kuptm think that it is not rude if we don't bring any if we did not bring anything to when visiting someone's house. So, however, in some countries it is considered as rude because of the culture. As for example, in New Zealand, the women have to bring food while the men have to bring beer if they come to a party in someone's house. This pie chart proves that in Eastern it is not rude if they are not doing that. And based on the responses, while 15/41 students think that they should bring something if they come to someone's house. Actually, this is depends on the person if they want to bring it or not, but it does not consider as rude at all because we are Malaysian. Okay, last but not least, question number 20. Okay, how will you respond to how are you? Okay, so we have two different answers, which is I'm fine, thank you, and also I'm good, just got a fever but not really serious, what about you? So the phrase of how are you is categorized as greetings. Okay, it was used as an effective function to start a conversation. Normally, the Southeast Asian does not expect a detailed response to how are you or any greetings. The answer of I'm fine, thank you is enough to say that the how are you, which we can clearly see it was agreed by 21 over the 41 respondents, as Malaysia is one of the Southeast Asian too. However, half of them also agreed to respond longer and asking back to the person they talked to. This may be because they try to continue the conversation and to treat them politely. So I think both of this answer is acceptable, but it depends on someone on how to respond to it. Okay, so that's all for discussion. Let us move on to conclusion. Overall, the conclusion of speech functions, politeness, and cross-cultural communication can be concluded as we already made a survey for KUPTM students for semester 3 Tesl students about this topic. So, the result of the survey shows that 99% of the students really prioritize the politeness in speech, As for example, we can see that from the third question in the survey, which is if we add please in a sentence, does it increase the politeness in every situation? So 90% of the students answer it as yes. It is because when we ask for someone's help, it will sound more decent and polite if we add the word please. As for example, can you please help me to do my homework? Oh no. For example, can you please help me to put the glass on the table? Okay, so this is because when we use the word please in conversation, in asking for someone helps, it shows respect and consideration for the effort another person puts forth to help us. Moreover, when you are polite and say please, people are more likely to respect you in return. Plus, politeness can help us to improve our relationships with others and help to be respect, boost your self-esteem and confidence, and improve your communication skills. A person who behaves politely towards others is not only respected but loved also. People speak well of him or her on all occasions. Politeness towards others means that they were civilized and cultured. In order to be polite, while talking with others, we should avoid from using negative words and swear words such as bullshit, or maybe something, maybe the words that might hurt someone. That is the example of negative words. We also have to be more understanding by act respectfully and put the person's feeling first. Lastly, as far as we go through this topic, we found out that Japan has the most politeness speech. It is because they live and interact with others, and everyone is generally very polite to each other, no matter if you are friends or they are strangers. You are their friends or they are strangers. They will try to avoid all kinds of conflicts, especially in the public eye. Okay, as Malaysian, we really have to make Japan as our role model to become more polite while talking with others. So the conclusion is, I hope that the Malaysian people will use positive politeness in their daily conversation and use politeness speech in their daily conversation, because it will make you become more polite and will avoid you from being a rude person in future. So that's all from us. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum.